Have you ever told yourself, "This time I'll stay consistent"? You start strong. You wake up early, you study, you focus, you feel like everything is finally changing. And then, just a few days later, everything slowly falls apart. You don't quit completely, but you reduce effort. You skip one day, then two, and without realizing it, you're back to your old routine. So the real question is this: why is consistency so hard even when you truly want it? And more importantly, why do some people seem to stay consistent effortlessly while others struggle every single time? This isn't about laziness, and it's not about lack of discipline. The truth is much deeper. Your brain is designed in a way that silently works against consistency, and most people never notice it. In this video, you'll understand exactly why you keep breaking consistency, what psychological mistakes are controlling your behavior, and how to fix it in a simple, practical way starting today. But before that, think about this for a moment. How different would your life look if you didn't stop every time you lost motivation? If your habits didn't depend on mood? If consistency became automatic instead of a struggle? Because once you understand this system, everything changes. Your studies, your focus, your confidence, your future direction. Let's start with the first reason. Most people think consistency comes from motivation. But motivation is one of the most unreliable forces in human behavior. Think about your own life. There are days you feel powerful, focused, ready to take on everything, and then there are days when even simple tasks feel heavy. Now here's the mistake. You expect your actions to follow your feelings, but your feelings change every single day. Your brain naturally prefers comfort. It avoids effort. So the moment something feels difficult, it creates excuses like, "I'll do it later," or "I'm not in the mood today." And slowly, that becomes a pattern. Here's the truth. Motivation is not your friend when it comes to consistency. It's temporary energy. It rises and falls like waves. So if you depend on it, your habits will also rise and fall. Now ask yourself honestly, how many times have you restarted something from tomorrow? That cycle itself is the problem. The solution is not motivation. It's structure. Instead of waiting to feel ready, you decide in advance. You remove choice. I study at 7 p.m. every day. Not, I'll study when I feel like it. Because when there is no decision to make, there is no internal conflict. And start smaller than you think you need to. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even 2 minutes if needed. Because the goal is not intensity. The goal is identity through repetition. Once you start, your brain stops resisting. And that's where consistency begins. Your goals are too big. Now, let's talk about another hidden reason you fail. You set goals that are too big, too fast, too unrealistic. You decide things like waking up at 5 a.m., studying for hours, completely changing your lifestyle overnight. It feels powerful in the beginning. It feels like a transformation. But after a few days, your system collapses. Not because you're weak, but because your brain cannot handle sudden, extreme change. Your brain prefers gradual adaptation. When pressure is too high, resistance increases automatically. So what happens? You burn out, you feel disappointed, and you stop, and then you think you failed. But the truth is, you simply started too big. Real consistency is built in small steps. Instead of saying, "I'll study 5 hours daily," start with 20 minutes. Instead of, "I'll become fit," start with 10 minutes of movement. Because small goals remove resistance. When something feels easy, your brain allows it. And when it becomes easy, you repeat it. And repetition is where real change happens. Not in motivation, not in intensity, but in small daily actions repeated over time. 3. No clear system means no consistency. Let's go deeper. Many people have goals, but no system. They say, I will study regularly, but there is no fixed time, no fixed place, no fixed routine. So every day they have to decide again. And decision-making is mentally expensive. The more you decide, the more tired your brain becomes. And a tired brain always chooses the easiest option, which is usually avoiding work. That's why most consistency breaks at the decision stage, not the effort stage. So what's the solution? Remove decisions, create structure. I study at 7 p.m. at my desk for 25 minutes. That's it, no thinking, no debate. When your system is fixed, your brain stops resisting because it already knows what to do. And once behavior becomes automatic, consistency becomes natural. 4. Identity shapes everything. Now here's something deeper. Most people focus on what they want to achieve, but successful people focus on who they are becoming. If you see yourself as someone who is not disciplined, your actions will match that identity. Even if you try hard, you will eventually fall back to that belief. But if you change your identity, everything changes. Instead of saying, I want to study daily, say, I am someone who studies daily. This might sound small, but it changes how your brain interprets your actions. Now every small action becomes proof of identity, and every repetition strengthens that identity. Consistency stops being something you force. It becomes something you naturally follow. 5. Your environment is controlling you. Now let's talk about something most people ignore completely. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. You sit down to study, but your phone is beside you. Notifications appear. You check one message, then another, and suddenly 30 minutes are gone. This is not a discipline issue. This is environmental design. Your brain responds to cues. If distractions are available, you will get distracted. So instead of fighting yourself, change your environment. Remove the phone, clean your desk, reduce distractions before you start. Make good habits easy and bad habits inconvenient. Because when your environment supports you, you don't need willpower. Consistency becomes effortless. Now here's the most important realization. Consistency is not about never failing. It's about not stopping. Everyone fails. Everyone misses days. Everyone loses momentum. But the difference is what happens next. Some people stop completely. Others come back immediately. And that difference decides everything. So remember this rule. Never miss twice. Missing one day is normal. Missing two becomes a pattern. Your power is not in perfection. Your power is in recovery. Always come back. So let's bring everything together. You were never inconsistent because you are lazy. You were inconsistent because you relied on motivation, set unrealistic goals, lacked a system, ignored identity, and allowed your environment to control you. But now you understand the real structure behind consistency. Start small, stay structured, build identity, control your environment, and most importantly, never stop coming back. Because consistency is not about doing big things. It's about doing small things every single day without quitting. And that is how real transformation happens. Now think about this. What is one small habit you can start today without overthinking? Write it in the comments. And if this video helped you understand yourself better, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Because this is not just content. This is about changing your life, one small action at a time.